By the time Elia returned to Blackmere, the town no longer remembered his name, but it still whispered hers. Leora Vale. She lived above the old clockmaker's shop now, where time had once been repaired and hearts quietly broken. The windows glowed, amber at night, warm and inviting, like a lie told gently enough to believe. Elias had loved her, once with the reckless faith of youth, and she had ruined him just as deeply. 7 years earlier, she had testified against him, not because he was guilty, but because the man who truly committed the crime was her father. Elias still remembered the courtroom smell, dust, old paper, fear. Leora's eyes had found his only once as she swore the oath. There had been tears, there had been hesitation, and then there had been the lie. Her words cost him everything: his freedom, his mother's health, his future. By the time the truth surfaced years later, the damage had already calcified into scars that would never soften. Now Elias was back, not for justice, but for something colder: revenge, wrapped carefully in love. He met her by accident, or so she believed, outside the clockmaker's shop. She dropped a box of gears, and he knelt to help her gather them, their fingers brushing like déjà vu. She didn't recognize him at first. Time had sharpened him, hardened his voice, changed his face. He introduced himself as Noah, a traveling archivist, researching Blackmere's forgotten histories. She smiled, the same smile, softer now, sadder, and something in Elias cracked. Still, he stayed. Days became weeks. Coffee turned into dinners. Conversations deepened. Leora spoke of regret in abstract terms. Mistakes, sacrifices, choices made under pressure. She never said his name. He listened. He learned. He learned that her father was dead. That guilt visited her every night. That she volunteered at the prison library, unable to explain why. And slowly, painfully, Elias began to fall in love with her all over again. That was the cruelest part of his plan. When he finally revealed himself, it wasn't in anger. It was in intimacy. They lay together beneath the ticking clock, the sound marking seconds like heartbeats. Elias traced the scar on her wrist, one he didn't remember from before. "You never asked my real name," he said quietly. She laughed softly. "Names don't change who people are." "No," he agreed, "but lies do." He sat up, looked at her fully. "My name is Elias Rowan." The silence was violent. Leora's face drained of color, horror blooming slowly as recognition shattered her breath. "No," she whispered. You're dead. You left. I went to prison," he said. "Because of you." She collapsed into sobs, hands shaking, reaching for him. But he stood, already dressed, already distant. "I didn't come back to hurt you," he lied gently. "I came back to finish something." The next day, the town woke to headlines. New evidence had surfaced. Recorded confessions. Old documents unearthed by a mysterious archivist. The case reopened. The truth undeniable. Leora's father's legacy collapsed. The Vale name became synonymous with corruption. Everything she had built, her work, her reputation, crumbled under the weight of history. She lost her job, her friends, her place in Blackmere. But Elias didn't leave. He watched from afar as she unraveled, not with satisfaction, but with something heavier. When she finally confronted him again, weeks later, she looked hollowed out, stripped of illusions. "You destroyed me," she said. He nodded. "You destroyed me first. I was afraid," she whispered. "He was my father, and I was your truth." They stood there, two ruins, facing each other. I still love you, she said, voice breaking. Elias closed his eyes. So do I. That was the final punishment. Not hatred, not prison, but love that could never be clean again. He left Blackmere that night, carrying no victory, only the quiet understanding that revenge, when mixed with love, doesn't heal wounds. It only teaches them how to ache forever.